Simba Nest Radio, sauti ya mwananchi. Simba Nest Radio, sauti ya mwananchi. Good morning and welcome to Simba Nest Radio, sauti ya mwananchi. This is Chambua Magazeti show, and I'm your host Jane Naitore. And today being the 10th of March, I'd like to know how the weather is on your side. On my side, it's been rainy. It's been drizzling, but the weather is just cool, and I hope that everyone is okay. You can send us SMSs via our WhatsApp number 0728 091 656. 0728 091 656, and on all social media platforms at Simba Nest Radio, and on YouTube we are live at Simba Nest TV. Welcome to Chambua Magazeti show. So let's see what today's newspapers are saying, and I'd like us to start with the Standard. And the Standard is saying, the main story is the problem, and it says, as the city's flood death toll near 30, which is the largest share of more than 50 fatalities nationwide, urban development expert says Nairobi's recurring disaster is driven less by extreme weather than by failed leadership at City Hall. Governor Johnson Sakaja has sought to distance himself from the crisis, blaming factors beyond the county government control. But experts says instead to weak planning, poor enforcement of development rules, and corruption brought about by policy dereliction rather than nature. And the Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja is saying that the crises that were brought by floods was not his fault. He said that it was a nationwide, it was a national crisis, not a county or whatever. And the main story, the full story about this is on page 6 and 7 of the Standard. And what do you think as an individual? Is it the government? But also it says that it's because of the extreme weather, not because of failed leadership. So as an individual, what do you think about that? Is it the weather, the extreme weather? Is it the government? Or what do you think about that? And is it about the governor, or is it something that is beyond governor? You can share your opinions to us via our social media platforms at Simba Nest Radio, and on YouTube at Simba Nest TV, and via WhatsApp number 0728 091 656. That is the main story on the Standard. So let's see. On Daily Nation, the main story is 50 billion shillings SHA rip-off. I think nowadays government are really joking with our money because it's not theirs, it's ours. We are the ones who pays tax. And it says rogue hospitals claim doctors conducted open heart surgery on the same patient 4 times in one day. Oh my God. And others reported one mother had delivered 10 babies on different dates within the same year. Jesus. Wow. And it continues to say, such fake claims were filed multiple times. In total, 50 billion shillings suspicious payments in 1 year have been exposed by Auditor General Nancy Gathungu following scrutiny of the Social Health Insurance Fund, which is run by the Social Health Authority. Oh God. Where are we heading as a country? This is very serious. How can even giving birth 2 times a year, it's impossible. So how can one mother give birth 10 times a year? Not 10 babies, 10 times a year, just 1 year. We are not serious as a country. We are really not serious. And this story, you can find it on page 7 of the Daily Nation. And other stories that are on this newspaper are Sifuna team to boycott Ruto, Oburu's MPs meeting. And it says lawmakers allied to the Linda Monanchi faction of ODM have vowed to snub today's meeting of MPs from the ruling coalition and Orange Party. And complete stories on page 10 of the Daily Nation. And also another story on this newspaper is is about transport, and it says NTSA instant fines. And here is all you need to know about penalties. And complete stories on page 5 of the Daily Nation. Also another story on this newspaper is left to die in sudden downpour from hell. And Alex Kavila, a 39-year-old father of 3, worked as a painter at the Grogan area in downtown Nairobi. Like many others caught up in the sudden downpour last Friday, Kavila rushed to seek shelter inside a nearby building. He never made it out alive. Yesterday, his brother joined other grieving families at the Nairobi funeral home amid question about the government inaction that led to the deluge that has killed at least 42 people nationwide. And the full story about this is on page 2 and 3 of the Daily Nation newspaper. May their souls rest in peace. That is all in Daily Nation. And let's see other newspapers. Taifa Leo, the main story inasema kuwa mpasuko pwani. Viongozi wa Kwale akiwemo Achani wasema hawatambui Joho ila Mvuria. na inasema kuwa juhudi za Joho kuunganisha pwani na kumpigia debe Rais Ruto zilipata pigo wikendi baada ya baadhi ya viongozi katika kaunti za Kilifi na Kwale kukataa kukubaliana na wito wake wa umoja wa pwani, yeye akiwa kigogo. Na habari kamili ipo ukurasa wa 5. Na pia habari zingine ambazo zipo katika gazeti la Taifa Leo ni mwanzo wa talaka ODM. Ninasema kuwa hatua ya vuguvugu la Linda Mwananchi kususia mkutano wa wabunge wa UDA na ODM leo inaweka wazi uasi wa wazi, huku ikiashiria mwanzo wa utengano. Habari kamili ipo ukurasa wa 2 wa gazeti la Taifa Leo. Na habari nyingine ni kuwa mafuriko, ni kuhusu mafuriko. Na inasema kuwa walikufa kwa mapuuza ya serikali. Baadhi ya familia zazungumza kuhusu jinamizi walioshuhudia wakati wa mvua kubwa iliyoua watu 42 kote nchini. Habari hiyo ipo ukurasa wa 3 wa Taifa Leo. Na pia kuna kesi ya kifo cha Walibora ya ng'oa nanga. Watu mbalimbali wafika mbele ya mahakama kueleza kilichotokea siku ya mauti ya profesa. Habari hiyo kamili ipo ukurasa wa 2 pia. Na habari nyingine ni mtoto wa Khamenei ateuliwa Ayatollah. Ayatollah Mojtaba atarajiwa kuendeleza uadui dhidi ya Amerika na Israel. Ukurasa wa 8. That is sad. It seems hatufiki mwisho wa hizi conflicts very soon. And story nyingine ambayo ipo kwenye Taifa Leo ni mwana wa siri wa Maradona akamatwa. Ninasema kuwa pata uhondo wa udaku wa spoti, ubashiri, ratiba na matokeo katika jarida lako. Ipo ukurasa wa 13 hadi 20 kwenye gazeti la Taifa Leo. Na pia sakata ya 50 billion shillings ya SHA yaibuka. Ninasema kuwa visa kama kuzaa watoto 10 kwa mwaka mmoja vya gharimu SHA mabilioni. Habari ipo ukurasa wa 2 pia wa gazeti la Taifa Leo. Tupate kunywa maji kidogo kisha turudie magazeti. Karibu tena msikilizaji na mtazamaji wa Simbanes Radio and TV. Tukirejelea magazeti, tunaenda kwenye gazeti la The Star, na ningetaka utume maoni yako kuhusu mada tunazoziongelea leo kwenye nambari yetu ya WhatsApp 0728 091 656 0728 091 656, na pia kwa social media platforms zote @Simbanes Radio, na pia tuko live on YouTube @Simbanes TV. Gazeti la The Star linasema kuwa exposed scandal of civil servant landing top jobs with fake papers. Na you'll find that story, a complete story, on page 4 and 5 of the Star. And also other stories that are on these newspapers are Ruto's quiet strategy to outfox opposition in 2027. And complete story is on page 6 of the Star. And here we can see pictures of it's a picture demonstrating his strategy, and it's showing on western side he has Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, and Wycliffe Oparanya. On the eastern side he has Kithure Kindiki, that is the eastern and northeastern. Kithure Kindiki, Geoffrey Ruku, and Eden Duale. And on the coast, Hassan Joho, Salim Mvurya, and Abdul Nasir. And also the Nyanza side, he has Gladys Wanga and Oburu Oginga. So that is just an illustration of President Ruto's 2027 strategy. And not a bad one, it's a good one. But bado kura sisi ndo tuko nazo, sisi kama wananchi. So and another story on this newspaper is abuse. Keyboard warriors target women in politics. Complete story is on page 3 of the Star, and on page 7 you'll find another story that says ODM race for position of deputy president exposes internal faults. Also another story is about city of quacks. Half of Nairobi health facilities are not licensed. Complete story is on page 9 of the Star, and also on page 2 you'll find another story about inside high stakes job of fixing coast water crisis. Those are some of the stories on the Star. And let's look at People Daily. People Daily is actually a newspaper that talks about the things that involve a Kenyan citizen directly. And it's saying shock as over 50 children die at KU referral hospital. That's a sad one. And complete story is on page 3 of the People Daily. And another story on page 4 and 10 of the People Daily is Raila Ruto Pact, wins, setbacks, and the political cost. There is not much on People Daily, but after looking at all newspapers, we will look into details about this topic on People Daily. Shockers over 50 children die at KU referral hospital. So stay with us till the end, and we will see more about this. And another newspaper is the Business Daily. Business Daily newspaper, and it's saying KRA unveils body cams in war against bribery, tax evasion. And And I don't see much on this newspaper, but there is Kenya stares at new inflation pressure from Israel Iran war. This is brought by the war that the conflicts that are going on between Israel, America, and Iran, and also the Nedbank keen to avoid EcoBank wars in NCBA buyouts. Also, there is another story. Rising cash pile leaves T-bill bids above 100 billion shillings for the first time. That is all in Business Daily. And also there is another on page 9 of the Business Daily, what the global minimum top tax rate of 15%, which came into effect last year, means Kenyans taxpayers. What the global minimum top tax rate of 15%, which came into effect last year, means for Kenyan taxpayers. That's the Business Daily, and it's the one that closes our today's Chambua Magazeti, but we'll be back shortly to talk more about the People Daily newspaper topic that says shock as over 50 children die at KU Referral Hospital. And we'll look into detail to see what's going on, what's really going on. And I'm your host Jane, and you are listening to Simba Nest Radio, Sauti ya Mwananchi. Simba Nest Radio, Sauti ya Mwananchi. Simba Nest Radio, Sauti ya Mwananchi. Welcome back. And this is Simba Nest Radio, Sauti ya Mwananchi. And this is the morning show that is called Chambua Magazeti, and we look at the stories that are on everyday's newspapers. And on today's newspaper, People Daily newspaper, there is this topic that says shock as over 50 children die at KU Referral Hospital. And as we continue with this, to look into details at this topic, you can send us SMSs via WhatsApp number 0728 091 656, and also on all social media platforms at Simba Nest Radio and Simba Nest TV at YouTube. So, about this, according to the report, over 50 children aged below 5 years are said to have died at the hospital within a certain period of time, and the deaths are reportedly happened in different units, such as the pediatric and newborn sections, and which has alarmed parents and the public. And this story describes the situation as shocking and worrying. It's very worrying and very shocking, and especially because the hospitals is a major this hospital, the KU referral, is a major national referral facility expected to provide specialized care. So if a hospital like KU referral is having such a large number of children fertility deaths, then that's worrying and very shocking, because we don't expect to have such big number of deaths in such a hospital. It's a big hospital, and it's a hospital that is many people rely on it. And the newspaper indicates that the deaths were not limited to older children, and reports suggest that among those who died were newborn babies and even some women during childbirth, raising fears about the quality of maternal and child health care at the facility. So what could be the problem? Is it the doctors? Is it the facilities in the hospitals, or what might be the problem? And also the report have raised some questions about the issues, and they are saying that some of the issues could be possible medical negligence and shortage of staff. Is it true? Are there a shortage of staff? But that is something that can be fixed by adding more experts, medical expertise. And also, they are saying that another issue could be delay in treatment and overcrowding or poor management in wards. But the last issue about the overcrowding, it could be true, because KU Hospital actually gets a lot of patients, a lot. If the number of the patients are higher than the number of the doctors, that could lead to poor care, because some people they won't give much care to every patient, so they end up neglecting some patients, and they end up dying. And because of these concerns, the situation has triggered calls for investigations to determine whether the deaths could have been prevented. And if it's something that could have been prevented, then I think something has to be done by the government, or I don't know who. And question about a possible negligence or the system failures have been brought forward, and the issues it's a big issue, by the way. It's a very big issue and a sad one, because a mother carries a baby in the womb for 9 months, expecting to give birth to their healthy children, but they end up losing them. This is something very serious, and yeah, the government should do something about it. Most of the things us as citizens, we can't do anything. Only the government can. And many people have been angry, and they are calling for accountability from the hospital, from the KU hospital. And I think if it's something that could have been prevented, then I support them. Accountability should be called for, and I don't blame them for being angry, because it's your baby, so you have the right to be angry. And the story also highlights that the families of the children are demanding answers. Health authorities may be pressured to investigate the hospital's operations. And also there are wider concerns about the state of healthcare in Kenya, especially for mothers and children. And many people are asking how so many deaths could happen in a modern referral hospital without clear explanations. Yeah, I know many people have many questions because KU Referral Hospital is a big hospital, a very big hospital that you don't expect that they don't have facilities or even staff or doctors. I don't think that's possible, but you can share your opinion with us and what you think could be the problem and what you also think could be the solution for this issue at KU Referral Hospital. But this is not to worry you not to go to KU, but just be careful. Just be careful and make sure whoever you trust with your baby or your life, because even mothers are dying while giving birth, at least make sure you know you do some research about them. And I think that's where we will end our today's Chambua Magazeti show, and have a beautiful day and a beautiful week ahead. My name is Jen and you've been listening to Simba Nest Radio and Simba Nest TV on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also on all social media platforms. Comment, like and share. Thank you.
One.